Welcome back, friends and companions. Today we delve into the complexity of a character constantly surrounded by controversy and misconception, Boromir, the Valiant Son of Gondor. Brilliantly portrayed by Sean Bean in the renowned film trilogy, Boromir evokes mixed feelings among Tolkien fans.
Look how ready you are to betray me. This whole time I thought you were Samwise to my Frodo. But you're just Boromir.
Damn, while it's funny on the surface, this is as shallow as a toilet bowl. It's crap like this that totally misses the point and undermines the importance of Boromir in the Fellowship. While many interpret his character as merely Dr. Evil or some misguided warrior like Loki, I think he's more comparable to someone like Anakin. So grab a pint, possibly a double, and settle in, because you have to hear me out on this. I really don't understand the hate behind this character. I mean, sure, he's got the haircut of a Nirvana drummer, the goatee of Heisenberg.
You're goddamn right.
And definitely gave us the impression not to trust him. But our first impressions of a character play a crucial role in our perceptions later in the film. And when Boromir meets Aragorn, we can't help but feel a tinge of disappointment as our initial impression of Boromir begins to sour.
No more than a broken head.
His confident stance to his piercing gaze exudes superiority, dismissing Aragorn's humble presence. I mean, just look at him. He definitely emanates 𝐋𝐨𝐫𝐝 status, but with a tinge of Karen persona beneath the surface. So it's no wonder people are cautious about this character, but what they may have missed is this initial impression sets the stage for a character driven by personal ambition, duty, and loyalty.
Remember today, little brother. Today, life is good.
I would see the glory of Gondor restored. You ever seen it, Aragorn?
A place of light and beauty and music.
You ever been called home?
My place is here with my people. Never again will the land of my people fall into enemy hands!
His banner's caught high in the morning breeze.
For Gondor! Remember today, little brother. The victory belongs to Faramir also.
As for Aragorn here, their first impression of each other was like oil and water, except one was the rightful heir to Gondor, and the other just acted like it.
Shots of Narsil.
This is one of the most fascinating scenes in retrospect because it carries deep meaning in very small actions. Boromir's attraction to the shards of Narsil, the broken sword of Isildur, opens a window into his psyche, his history, and the possibilities that await him. Now, Boromir's fascination with these remnants may stem from a desire to envision himself as a great hero who saves the world from darkness. His cultural pride and sense of duty may fuel this inspiration. You see, Boromir comes from a noble lineage and hails from the city of Minas Tirith, which has a rich history of valiant warriors and strong-ass leaders. The shattered noodle slicer represents the glorious past of Gondorian forefathers and their heroic deeds in battle against the New World Order. Boromir feels a deep cultural pride and obligation to carry on this legacy and kick anyone's ass who threatens his people. Underneath his genuine intentions to save his realm, Boromir also harbors personal ambitions for glory and recognition. Throughout the films, he struggles with the heavy burden of defending Gondor from Sauron and his tribes of sewer mutants. By envisioning himself as the macho man who wields the power sword, Boromir may be indulging in daydreams of vanquishing Freemason overlords single-handedly, earning admiration and proving his worth and abilities to his people. Also keep in mind, this is while he's in proximity of the One Ring, which we all know can amplify one's desire for rockstar glory. When Boromir accidentally cuts himself and drops the busted sword on the floor, it showcases his arrogance, entitlement, and fear of the return of the true king. The cut may also foreshadow wounds to come and symbolize something much deeper I'll cover at the end of this video. Initially portrayed as a proud warrior, Boromir's cocky-ass attitude comes from his belief in his own abilities and his confidence as Gondor's defender. Much like the White Tree stands tall in Gondor, Boromir stands the tallest as the city's civic savior. Say that 10 times fast. However, cutting himself on a shank serves as a humbling moment. It challenges his self-perception and exposes his vulnerability, which he may find difficult to accept. Boromir's entitlement stems from his position as a military commander, Captain General of the White Tower, and heir to the steward of repulsive tomato munching. He believes his lineage and status deserve recognition and honor, leading him to dismiss the finger chopper's significance as it does not align with his expectations of grandeur. Furthermore, Boromir comes from a city ruled by the stewards of Gondor, who have long held power in the absence of the true king. The fragments of Narsil, once reforged, symbolizes the return of the king, which threatens his position and influence. Together, Boromir's arrogance, entitlement, and fear of the return of the true king contribute to his decision to leave the shard laying on the floor, perhaps a way of distancing himself from the reminder of his own fallibility. So that's a basic rundown on first impressions, Boromir's psyche, and the motivations behind his actions. You know, this is where the dude's coming from. Sure, he's kind of a jerk about it, but there's a huge amount of nuance to his character coming. I promise.
The ring is altogether evil.
It is a gift to the foes of Mordor.
Boromir's struggle in The Lord of the Rings is complex, stemming from his deep sense of responsibility towards his homeland and the corrupting influence of the ring. Rather than dismiss him as a misguided betrayer, we should appreciate the complexity of his struggle. Alongside his many burdens, the ring became both Boromir's temptation and his torment. And trust me when I say this, Boromir's got more emotional baggage than Frodo's got miles to Mordor. Seriously, he's packing more baggage than a dragon's treasure hoard. It could fill the mines of Moria and then some. Even Sauron would have to hire an outside moving company. Alright, yeah, that's probably enough. Loyalty, a virtue so revered in these tales, is exemplified by Boromir. In the midst of a desperate struggle against stinky totalitarian grunts, Boromir remains undeniably devoted to his homeland.
No. My place is here with my people, not in Rivendell.
His intentions are rooted in a sincere desire to defend his people at any cost, even if it means taking a detour through the apocalypse.
I ask only for the strength to defend my people.
We'll see his methods may not always align with the Fellowship's.
We must get up the mountain! Make for the Gap of Rohan! I take the west road to my city! The Gap of Rohan takes us too close to Isengard!
His heart is driven by a genuine love and concern for his kingdom.
Long has my father, the steward of Gondor, kept the forces of Mordor at bay. By the blood of our people are your lands kept safe.
And this is probably as good a time as any to talk about Boromir's daddy issues. You'd think I was talking about Faramir.
Oh, one moment of peace can he not give us that?
You see, Boromir shoulders immense responsibilities. His actions are not solely driven by personal ambition, but by a sense of duty towards his father and lineage. For some reason.
Everyone will try to claim it. Men, dwarves, wizards. We cannot let that happen. This thing must come to Gondor. Our people who are dying. Sauron is biding his time. He's massing fresh armies. He will return. You must go. Bring me back this mighty gift.
This is a burden that often clouds his judgment and leads to conflict. And if you're still puzzled by Boromir, this is going to open up your third eye. That nothing is put on screen just to fill out the runtime. Everything is put on screen with a very deliberate intent for the audience. They are intricately connected and create a logical sequence of cause and effect. So let's finally break this down scene by scene. Boromir strides into the Council of the One Ring like a proud peacock, with a horn of Gondor so shiny it could blind an orc. As he opens his mouth, you'd think he was about to deliver the most important answers to the great philosophical questions. Instead, he starts speaking like a coke fiend, looking for his next hit. You know the ring is really bad for you, right? Yes, but you see, if I just had but a couple hits, I could get things done a lot faster.
Just lend me the meth, and I will set everything right. The journey to Mordor will be much quicker. With a bowl or two, I'll sprint the whole way.
Sure, it's not a great look to continue our first impression. He's a real Debbie Downer and throws a tantrum or two. A lot of his arguments boil down to, sure, the ring brings doom, but it might also fix everything. Or, one does not simply walk into Mordor unless he has the ring. His whole idea of teamwork was, just give me the ring, I'll take care of the rest. Boromir may have the warrior's heart, but he lacks the diplomat's tongue.
And if we fail, what then? What happens when Sauron takes back what is his?
We see him speak fatalistically and reveal his desperation to secure the power of the One Ring for Gondor.
Why not use this ring? Give Gondor the weapon of the enemy. Let us use it against him.
His intentions, albeit misguided, demonstrated his unwavering loyalty towards Gondor and its survival. We also begin to witness his struggles against the weight of the One Ring, its pull awakening his deepest desires. He surely would have taken the ring for himself had Gandalf not summoned sound effects and camera shake to stop him. However, when the ring falls off Frodo's neck, Boromir becomes entranced once again by its power. This crucial moment illustrates the mesmerizing influence the ring has over him, transfixing his attention and distorting his judgment. This marks the moment when his desire for the ring starts to overshadow his initial intentions of protecting his realm. You see, beneath Boromir's exterior as a fierce warrior resides a man torn by internal conflicts.
It is a strange fate that we should suffer so much fear and doubt over so small a thing.
A compelling duality emerges as he battles the corrupting influence of the ring. Boromir is not inherently evil, but falls victim to the ring's seductive power.
Such a little thing.
And of course, you're probably already aware, but Aragorn represents how the audience feels about Boromir's unpredictable actions up to this point.
Give the ring to Frodo.
Luckily, Aragorn is able to break the spell the ring has over him. For the time being anyways. Boromir suggests going through the Gap of Rohan and into his city as a route for the Fellowship. This further emphasizes his dedication to, you guessed it, Gondor, and his belief that their only chance of success lies within Gondor's military strength and strategic location.
Minas Tirith is the safer road. You know that. From there we can regroup. Strike out for Mordor from a place of strength.
He sees this as the most practical and efficient path towards protecting the ring and his homeland. And yeah, this is going to become a recurring theme, so don't be surprised when Boromir sounds like a broken record. Kind of like a 3-second TikTok that you can't swipe away.
Give Gondor the weapon of...
Make for the Gap of Rohan!
Make for the Gap of Rohan.
Minas Tirith is the safer road.
There are other ways, Frodo. Other paths that we might take.
Anyways, Boromir's desire to safeguard the kingdom of men is further reinforced when the Fellowship discovers the fallen kingdom of Moria.
This is no mine. It's a tomb.
This serves as a sobering reminder to Boromir of the dire consequences he believes Gondor could face if he does not possess the ring. Once again, he suggests going through the Gap of Rohan to the White City.
We make for the Gap of Rohan. We should never have come here.
Jumping ahead a bit to when the Fellowship is mugged by elves and then kidnapped, we find ourselves within Lothlorien. Galadriel begins to mind probe everyone, without consent, I mind you, and sees into Boromir's deepest desires. She telepathically speaks to him about his father and the fall of Gondor.
I will find no rest here. heard her voice inside my head. She spoke of my father and the fall of Gondor.
This was probably horrifying, but the point is, this foreshadows the impending destruction of Gondor and leaves Boromir feeling hopeless, realizing the enormity of the challenges ahead.
She said to me, "Even now there is hope left, but I cannot see it. It is long since we had any hope."
And reveals the deep connection with his father, sincere devotion to Gondor, highlighting his internal struggle between duty and temptation. It's practically written on the wall of every one of his scenes. Oh yeah, and let's not ignore the fact that Galadriel slipped up here and exposed herself as a shape-shifting reptilian. Disgusting. And once again, we are beaten over the head, with Boromir trying to convince Aragorn that they should go to Minas Tirith. This time it takes place after pulling boats ashore gifted by elves. This just shows us his absolutely relentless determination to secure the ring for Gondor and his unwillingness to give up on his mission. It also hammers home it's his belief that Gondor's survival depends on immediate action rather than continuing with the planned quest. I mean, come on, you gotta respect a guy who doesn't take no for an answer, right? I mean, unless it's Tinder. Ugh. Remember, ladies, if a man ever says he's the captain of Gondor, ask if he has a ring before swiping right. Because he's either homicidal, or worse, married. Boromir's internal struggle reaches its breaking point when he succumbs to madness and tries to take the ring from Frodo. Yeah, you kinda know you're in trouble when Boromir tries to convince you to just let him take the ring for a walk.
Why do you recoil, hand of thief?
This climactic moment exposes the overwhelming power of the ring and the depth of which has consumed Boromir, causing him to betray not just Frodo, but also the Fellowship. Frodo's decision to leave the group is a direct result of Boromir's actions, which was prophesied by Galadriel's warning.
He will try to take the ring. You know of whom I speak.
You are a ring-bearer, Frodo. To bear a ring of power is to be alone.
This undoubtedly solidified his decision and ultimately led to the breaking of the Fellowship, which I might add was Middle-earth's only chance of defeating Sauron. Had they stayed together, each member of the Fellowship would have fallen to the ring one by one.
The Fellowship is breaking. It has already begun. One by one, it will destroy them all.
So thanks, Boromir. Your unhinged behavior saved Middle-earth. It's almost like that cause and effect thing I was babbling about. Rather than casting Boromir as a villain, his weakness reveals his humanity. His inner struggle highlights the fight between his good intentions and the ring's corrupting power, as his loyalty to the Fellowship clashes with his duty to Gondor. It's absolutely critical to grasp this complexity to understand Boromir's journey and what's pushing his actions. However, Boromir was much more than just a tortured man. He stood as the only leader with the capability to repel the cannibal hordes of minions from Gondor's borders. But most importantly, and what I want to stress in this video, is Boromir's noble spirit played a positive role within the Fellowship, and most specifically, a significant impact on the Hobbits. From the start of their journey, Boromir showed he was a real one. One of the early moments that lasted throughout the entirety of the film was Boromir escorting Merry and Pippin, highlighting Boromir's role as guardian. He didn't just walk them like dogs though. He took it upon himself to prepare them for the impending danger and sword train them. This not only demonstrated his skill as a fighter, but also showcased his willingness to connect to the Hobbits on a personal level. Through a game of lighthearted ass grab, they built a bond that made the Hobbits feel more comfortable and accepted within the group. Who hasn't had that experience? Throughout their treacherous journey through the mountain snowy paths, Boromir proved himself as a reliable protector, carrying Merry and Pippin. When Frodo deliberated with Gandalf where to lead them next, Boromir selflessly exclaimed his concern for the Hobbits, shouting,
We cannot stay here! This will be the death of the Hobbits!
This moment emphasizes compassion and sense of responsibility towards the smaller, more vulnerable members of the Fellowship. In the Perilous Mines of Moria, Boromir once again assumed the role of guardian. He valiantly protected the rear of the Fellowship, ensuring their safety as they entered the terrifying depths. He displayed his physical strength by dismembering the Watcher in the water and catching Frodo when he fell. During the intense confrontation with the Balrog,
what is this new devilry?
Boromir caught Frodo once again, while Legolas caught Aragorn, demonstrating his unwavering commitment to the Hobbit's safety. Or maybe he was just trying to catch the ring. Dealer's choice. After Gandalf falls in the mines, Boromir carried Frodo to safety, emphasizing his loyalty and responsibility towards the ring bearer. When Aragorn pushed for the group to move on,
Legolas, get them out.
Boromir advocated for a breather, compassionately pleading,
Give them a moment, for pity's sake.
This showcased his empathy and understanding of the psychological toll the journey was taking on the hobbits. Even if most of them didn't know what Gandalf was, they had just lost their leader and close friend. But you know, orcs are coming. Then, in the Woodland Realm, Boromir reached out to Frodo with solemn words about grief and moving forward.
Gandalf's death was not in vain, nor would he have you give up hope. You carry a heavy burden, Frodo. Don't carry the weight of the dead.
This moment highlighted his ability to provide emotional support and guidance to the hobbits, demonstrating a deep understanding of their struggles and the importance of perseverance.
I hoped we would lose him on the river. Too clever a waterman.
Boromir's role as a protector was also evident when he spotted Gollum following them in the water, showcasing his keen eye and heightened awareness. You know, he was always on the lookout for potential threats, which is ironic because the biggest threat to the Fellowship he could have found within. And of course, the Uruk fight so many seem to forget. The sacrificial lamb of Hollywood selflessly throws himself in the middle of their attack against Merry and Pippin, urging the hobbits to run. By risking himself to shield them, he solidified his role as their protector and guardian. Even when facing his own death, Boromir cared most about Merry and Pippin's safety. His first words when mortally wounded were dedicated to them, expressing,
They took the little man.
Overall, Boromir's noble spirit was crucial to the Fellowship and the Hobbits. His acts of protection, guidance, and compassion helped forge strong relationships and enabled the Hobbits to grow and find strength within themselves. Boromir's presence in the Fellowship was immensely important, and his sacrifice left a lasting impact. It's just a shame something like this can be overshadowed by someone's first impression. One more thing I wanted to talk about separately was Boromir's eventual friendship with Aragorn, because one of the major character arcs for Boromir was their companionship together.
I have seen the White City long ago. One day, our paths will lead us there. And the Tower Guard shall take up the call. The Lords of Gondor have returned.
You know, despite their initial differences and occasional conflicts, their relationship developed gradually and was ultimately characterized by mutual respect, camaraderie, and
Common purpose.
the two warriors bonded and grew to appreciate each other's strengths, proving that sometimes first impressions are orchestrally wrong.
Gondor has no king. Gondor needs no king.
In the beginning, there was tension between the two warriors. Boromir initially saw Aragorn as a threat to his own aspirations of leading and protecting his people, skeptical of Aragorn's claim to be the heir of Isildur. As the next in line for stewardship, Boromir was 100% right to be skeptical of Aragorn. Suddenly, just after receiving the news Sauron has returned, a random guy appears with kingly claims. Boromir would have no idea where his loyalties lie. Was he even loyal to Gondor, or was he just a foreign puppet sent to do his master's bidding? However, as the journey progressed, Boromir began to recognize the wisdom, skill, and leadership qualities that Aragorn possessed. He witnessed Aragorn's selflessness, bravery, and cunning in many battles and dangerous situations. Boromir's initial wariness of Aragorn gradually turned into respect and admiration. Like in the Mines of Moria, when we see Boromir and Aragorn barricade themselves inside Durin's tomb. Aragorn and Boromir acted in unison, showcasing their teamwork and trust in each other.
They have a cave troll.
Or even in this fight, when they worked together to save Sam's life by pulling a cave troll back from caving in his head. This is such a stark contrast from the teamwork Boromir previously promoted when he was all like, "One does not simply share the load." I think a big turning point though is when Aragorn saved Boromir's life. This is a quick one, so I don't expect most people to jot it down. Aragorn throws a blade, killing the one on top of him, and there's a little nod of respect there, which I greatly appreciate that. This scene definitely reinforced Boromir's respect for Aragorn and deepened their bond. However, the most significant interaction between the two is when Boromir's mortally wounded, defended Merry and Pippin, and Aragorn spares Boromir a final kill shot, defeating Lurtz. As Boromir lies dying, he confesses his mistakes to Aragorn and seeks forgiveness. This dialogue shows Boromir's transformation. He humbly acknowledges his previous pride and expresses remorse, realizing the courage and leadership that Aragorn possesses.
Forgive me. I did not see. I have failed you all.
You fought bravely. You've kept your honor.
The Lords of Gondor have returned. The world of men will fall, and all will come to darkness.
I swear to you, I will not let the White City fall, nor our people fail.
Our people, I would have followed you, my brother. Captain. My king.
Be at peace, son of Gondor.
Yeah, don't even act like you don't shed a tear every time it plays. Ultimately, why this is so important and why I've spent so long prattling on about it is because Boromir's relationship with Aragorn serves as a catalyst for Aragorn's character development. That's right, Boromir sparked Aragorn's character arc. Because through their mutual experiences and Boromir's acts of loyalty and bravery, Aragorn learns the true meaning of nobility and sacrifice, driving him towards fulfilling his destiny as the return of the king. I truly believe that is why Aragorn wears Boromir's bracers for the rest of the films, as a reminder to honor his oath to a friend and captain to his people. The friendship between Boromir and Aragorn was essential to each other's character arcs. It contributed to their individual development and the overall strength of the Fellowship. It was like a bromance that saved Middle-earth. By the end, even Legolas and Gimli were taking notes. Boromir apologizes to Aragorn for doubting him, but let's discuss the rest of that apology.
Frodo. Where is Frodo?
I let Frodo go.
Then you did what I could not. I tried to take the ring from him.
The ring is beyond our reach now.
Forgive me. I have failed you all.
No, Boromir.
It is over. The world of men will fall, and all will come to darkness, and my city to ruin.
Driven by guilt and regret, Boromir completely blames himself and seeks to make amends. He recognizes the gravity of his mistakes and acknowledges the pivotal role he played in jeopardizing the quest.
Frodo.
Boromir becomes determined to make things right, driven not just by personal redemption, but also by the desire to save the realm from darkness. And when Boromir sacrifices himself to save others, he experiences a significant turning point. He openly admits his faults, expresses remorse for betraying Frodo, and seeks forgiveness from those he wronged. This act of self-reflection and accountability marks a crucial moment in the redemption of Boromir. We can't even get people to do this when they're not mortally wounded. Both Boromir and Isildur, tempted by the One Ring's corruption, meet their demise under a rain of 3 orc arrows during an ambush. However, Isildur, ensnared and betrayed by the ring's seduction, falls victim to being stabbed in the back by it. On the other hand, Boromir recognizes the ring's malevolence, rebels and fights against it, and valiantly faces his end while wounded in the front. It's rather deep if you ask me, but for what it's worth, I'll finish this off. Redemption arcs often capture our hearts, and Boromir's transformation is no exception. In his final moments, Boromir's true essence emerges through an act of selflessness and repentance. Even when the ring seemingly overcame him, Boromir's love for his companions and his determination to protect them redeemed his character. Boromir passed on, a saved man. Boromir's character serves as a reminder that life is full of flawed heroes. By dismissing him as simply misguided, we fail to acknowledge the power of redemption and the complexities of human nature. Keep in mind that with each character lies a lesson for us all. So until next time, keep finding the redeeming qualities within yourself and others. Be critical, stay excellent.